Hey, welcome to Quack This Way YouTube channel, godfreydg.com, and I'm going to welcome my guest, Carlos. We're going to have a little interview. I work with Carlos on different video shoots, and we're going to kind of go over some of his interests in his life and what he's doing and what has brought him to videography. So stay tuned. Well, Carlos, welcome.
Thank you, man. This is awesome for you having me here, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you could do it. So I just want to go ask you a few questions, just answer candidly, whatever brings it to you, and we'll kind of walk through real simple ones.
Of course,
okay?
Let's do it, man.
All right, let's go. First one I got is, just tell me about your family.
My family. Whoo, I have a family. There's 5 of us. I have 3 kids with my wife. We've been married for about 10 years. I have another kid who's 21 years old, but he is not in my life at this time. I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and we stay pretty busy. You know, awesome kids. They wear me out.
Yes, I can understand that. I have 4 kids myself, as you know. So up until now, that you're interested in videography, what have you been doing professionally?
Professionally, okay. So for pretty much the last 20 years, I've been in the investigation and security field. Specifically, the last 10 years, I've been transporting prisoners.
So, but like more recently, you also ran your own business?
Since 2010, I've had my own security investigation company that was kind of on the side. The last 3 years specifically, I've been just doing that. But now it's coming to the point where my heart's not in there no more. It's I want to do something that I love. You know, it's not all about money all the time. You know, so.
Absolutely. So speaking about it, not all being about money, I'm going to ask you a more personal question about God. And when were you saved? When did you come to Jesus to be your Lord and Savior?
Awesome. Let's see if we can get through this. So, okay, I was never a believer. I believe in God. I just didn't know Him. And about 3 years ago, my wife has always been going to church, and I've always respected that. I've always told her, you go to church, take the kids. I'm not gonna be that husband that's gonna deny that from you. But she kept insisting that I go with her to church, to the point where sometimes I just got upset with her. About 3 years ago, I was coming to the end of my career with prisoner transport. I was not happy there. It was a very negative environment, and I was going through some things at work. I decided to leave that job and push my company full-time. And I remember my wife had invited me to go to church on a Wednesday, and I did, because we were taking the kids, so we just kind of went, dropped them off, and my version was we dropped them off, and then we'll go get something to eat, come back and pick them up. I had no intention of staying there, but she did. So she insisted that we stay there that night for the service, and I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. And she insisted that we were. In the midst of all the music, I started to, I don't know if you want to call it praying, but talking to what I thought was the God that they were worshiping to. And I started asking questions. If one of them being, if you are this real God that everyone here is worshiping to, if you really exist, why don't you change that page in my life? Why don't you show me that you're gonna be there for me? You know, give me some kind of sign, show me that that this is real here. And I remember after service, this was a Wednesday night, so there was less people in the building at that time. As I was walking out, there was a gentleman in a wheelchair who approached me, and he got my attention, said, "Excuse me, sir." And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And kind of shook my hand and said, I know you don't know me, and I know that we've never met, but I had God put in my heart to tell you something. So I'm thinking, okay, what do you got? He said, God put in my heart to tell you that He's gonna turn a page in your life. for God to actually use someone else to answer a specific question that I had asked him was not something that was real for me. It was, I immediately started to question if I had said it out loud and maybe somebody was spying on me. I know it sounds kind of dumb.
Because they use that word page,
right,
specifically, turn the page.
Yes. So I kind of thanked him, I hugged him, I started to cry. And I couldn't talk. My wife asked me what had just happened, and my reply was nothing. I couldn't talk. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna let it be. So that initiated everything, and it has been God showing me and testing me throughout the whole way, and every day just better. I don't know how to say. I have met from friendships, from the old friendships that I had to the new friendships. Amazing people that are just so wonderful, and every day, you know, it's not like you're saved and everything's just fun and dandy. Everything, you know, you're gonna go through your stumbles in life, but every day he shows me who he is and how much he cares about me, and I can't turn my back on that.
That's amazing. That's awesome. It just goes to show you, praying wives, right, can do a lot for the lost. My next question is, how did you get into videography?
I've always liked it. I've always had in the back of my mind since I was little, I always said, oh, I want to make movies. I want to, you know, take photos. And about 10 years ago, I started really enjoying photography. I opened up a company and I taught myself. We actually signed up for some online courses. I was more hands-on, and this was a lot not hands-on, a lot of stuff that I just, so I kind of started to teach myself by watching videos, to the point where I did good. I loved it, I enjoyed it, I got some business out of it. It was more of an enjoyable hobby. And then about three years ago, I had, while I was prisoner transport, I was transporting prisoners, I shot a video for a TV channel. In the midst of us doing that, I met this gentleman who owns a production company, and he just, watching him, and it just kind of stirred up things, and then I was like, you know, I kept telling him, doing photography for me is better because I can just make the picture and change it, and versus video you have to move. But he's like, yeah, but with the music and all the things that go with it, you create emotions. So that kind of stuck in my mind, and I started watching videos about it, and I started playing around with my, you know, camera and stuff, and I realized what he was saying.
Right.
And that passion from photography kind of switched over to videos. I love doing it. You know, it's not that I'm a professional or that I'm perfect, but I'm learning. And thanks to you, you know, in the last, how long have we known each other for? About 4 months, 5 months?
4 months, yeah.
That's I think has been the biggest turning point in my life. Since I actually prayed to meet someone like you, that would enjoy to do this type of stuff, the videos, but that also would have a love for God. And boom, there you are. Just like that, he makes it happen. And I think watching you in the videos that you sent me to encourage me has really pushed me to not where I want to be, but to do more than where I was doing before.
Yeah. And he was a big answer to my prayer too, working with God in the 12 Steps, and came in and we were able to shoot some amazing videos about 2 months ago as we were kind of wrapping that up. And it was a big blessing and exactly what we needed. So it was both of us. So next, we're talking about you kind of feeling that God has been bringing you to. Do you have anything? What do you think God is calling you specifically, maybe, to do? Whether it's in this field, videography, or.
I feel that He's given me the opportunities to learn more and more, because eventually I like to film testimonies. I feel that there's a lot of people out there that have these amazing stories about how God used them to either work in other people's lives or had changed their lives, and they're like scared to talk to, you know, in front of other people or to share that. And that's so sad, because it's wonderful to hear stories like that. I want to be in a position where I can maybe create a friendship with some of these people that I meet and get them comfortable enough to maybe a one-on-one, we can sit down and put their story on video so that we can share it, you know. And actually I got the opportunity to do that with a gentleman already, a friend of mine, Gus, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you can link it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll link. He made a testimonial, an amazing one, or kind of one of your first major projects that he did with him and his wife, and we're able to film. And I'll go ahead and put a card up in the corner and also annotate it in the notes of the video.
So it's funny because Gus, who is now a good friend of mine, would be my opposite, you know, when I was in the transport field. He was a prisoner at one point. He had gotten into trouble and he had a different lifestyle, and God did a number on him. He changed him. He just purified and cleaned him and just made him into a complete new person. He welcomed me into his life. It was like, wow, we became family, you know. We keep in touch all the time, and that's what I want to do. I want to show people how God works like that. You know, there's a lot of people that have doubts and they don't want to go to church, and maybe they can just click online and watch these videos. You know, and then of course there's people that are gonna be like, oh, that's fake. Well, I can't speak for all the stories out there, but that's not what we're trying to do, create fake stories. These are real things that happen on day to day. God does use other people to speak to you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So with that, where do you think you see yourself in about 2 to 3 years? Where would you like to see yourself?
I like to see myself doing this full time. I've got the opportunity to do a couple commercials. Of course, again, I'm not a professional, but every time I do it, I learn more and more. Every time I'm behind the camera or in front of the camera, I learn more and more. I make mistakes every time. So I like to make it to a point where I can do this constantly. Hopefully get the opportunity to work at church in the media department. I recently had an opportunity to start looking and shadowing, and it was so exciting to do that. That was so much fun. So something I definitely want to learn, even though that's not exactly what we're doing here, but it's related.
Yes.
And it's at church, which is even better. So yeah, do this full time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, well, that's the end of my questions. Is there anything maybe that you want to share with the audience, or anything that's on your heart?
I'll tell you this: if you don't go to church or you don't believe in God, I get it. I was there, so I know that there is something missing from your life. I know this because I was one of those persons that had pretty much everything, and I was still not happy. And I also can tell you that what I was missing in my life was a relationship with God. I know there's people out there that say, oh, I'm not with that religion thing, and there's too many rules. It's not about rules, it's not about religion, it's about having a one-on-one relationship with God. If you can establish that, He will change you. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna make mistakes. Doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. You're human. But as you get closer to God, He gets closer to you and changes you and just makes your life. I mean, so there is something that I recently posted on Facebook, and it's following Jesus makes your life better. Following Jesus makes you better at life. And I think that's so true. My life is so much better every day just because I continue to follow that walk with Him. My family, we've changed as a family. We've gotten closer. We pray together. Just our friends with people around us has gotten so much better. Everything is better just because we made that choice. So I encourage you that if you don't want to go to church, you at least start praying about it and eventually take that step into going into the right church where they teach from the Bible. And I can assure you that God will speak to you somehow, whether it's through this video or through someone else. He will speak to you. I am going to have the opportunity soon here to hopefully go to Israel in about a month and a half, and that will change everything in my life. You know, I'm gonna get to do a lot of the stuff that we see in the Bible, or walk, you know, through the same steps of where Jesus walked in the Bible. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Hopefully, as I take that journey, I'm able to document that and share it with you guys.
That's awesome. We look forward to that. And you know, Carlos brought up a key point in life. So many people think that they need to get perfect before they come to God. And God knows how we are and accepts us. But the great thing is He'll accept us as we are, but He loves us so much that He doesn't want us to stay the same way, right? And even walking through with Jesus, as someone I know, G Sharp, always says, it doesn't mean we become sinless, but we do sin less as we continue that journey walking with God. So I just want to say thank you for the time. Appreciate it, Carlos, and we'll see you around. Subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, maybe ask below and we can follow up with answers. We'll be in the comments, and we'll see you soon.
God bless you guys.
God bless. Awesome.